How's that? All right, here we go. One fateful day I saw this ad, and I just couldn't resist it. It was up there like a billboard where nobody could have missed it. The sign said, "Are you happy in your work, or are you bored? You can be a prophet of the Lord." And I thought, hey, I can so see myself turning prophetic. Being all spiritual totally makes a guy magnetic. And plus, I've already got the hair, the lack of friends, the vacant stare. So I sign on the dotted line and stand up in the public square. Oinga boinga boobily boo, riggedy roggedy ronchity roo, prophety offety lovety you, lovety yoodly you. Oinga boinga boobily boo, riggedy roggedy ronchity roo, prophety offety lovety you, lovety yoodly you. The best part is, God tells you all this useful secret stuff. 7 lean years come, but still you always have enough. I thought I'd be a windfall prophet, making lots of money. 'Cause the more the bread you've got, the fewer locusts in your honey. Of course you have to leave your hometown, but I'm sick of them anyway. Those losers never listen to a single word I had to say. Plus they give me no respect, just complaining and neglect. Now I can tell them, meeny, meeny, tickle and farsin, or other words to that effect, like oinga boinga boobily boo, riggedy roggedy ronchity roo, prophety offety lovety you, lovety yoodly you. Oinga boinga boobily boo, riggedy roggedy ronchity roo, mystery mastery seekery peekery, trancery dancery spookery speakery, prophety offety lovety you, lovety yoodly you. Well, I should have read the fine print, 'cause it's not an easy job. I sort of missed the part where prophets foam and rave and sob. Just at your charismatic best, God splits you down the middle. And it's hard to charm the groupies when your beard is flecked with spittle. Oh, he'll tinker with your thinker, he'll garble with your marble, he'll foodle with your nun-a-noodle, he'll meddle with your heddle. You'll be singing like a stoolie, and you want to play it coolly, but a fine prophetic frenzy, and you go all fooly-drooly, singing oinga boinga boobily boo, riggedy roggedy ronchity roo, prophety offety lovety you, lovety yoodly you. Oinga boinga boobily boo, riggedy roggedy ronchity roo, mystery mastery seekery peekery, trancery dancery spookery speakery, booing and spewing and chewing the scenery, denting, dissenting, inventing your spleenery, prophety offety lovety you, lovety you, lovety you, prophety offety lovety you, lovety yoodly you. Thank you, thank you. As I said, it makes me very happy to see so many people here, also a little terrified. You might think that since I'm sort of in the business of public speaking, I wouldn't get stage fright, but sharing songs that I wrote myself, that's different. It makes me feel kind of naked up here, so I'm going to sing a prayer for strength now, and please understand that I'm not trying to make converts or slip you the old routine, and just, this is, unlike everything else you'll hear tonight, I did not write the words to this, but only the music. This is an ancient prayer, the breastplate of St. Patrick. I arise today through a mighty strength, the invocation of the Trinity, through belief in the threeness, through confession of the oneness of the Creator of creation. I arise today through a mighty strength, the invocation of the Trinity, through belief in the threeness, through confession of the oneness of the Creator of creation. I arise today through the strength of heaven, through the light of the sun, through the radiance of moon, through the splendor of fire, through the speed of lightning, through the swiftness of wind, through the depth of the sea, stability of earth, firmness of rock. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak for me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me, God's host to save me, save me. From snares of devils, from temptations of vices, from all the people who shall wish me ill, people far away, nearby, acting alone or in conspiracies. Christ, shield me today against poison, against wounding, against drowning, against burning, so that there may come to me abundance of reward. Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ inside me, Christ above me, Christ below me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left, Christ when I sit down, Christ when I lie down, Christ when I arise today. Christ in the heart of everyone who thinks of me, Christ in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me, Christ in every eye that sees me, Christ in every ear that hears me. I arise today through a mighty strength, the invocation of the Trinity, through belief in the threeness, through confession of the oneness of the Creator of creation. Thank you. I feel better. So it's almost Halloween. Something spooky here. Of course, also it's almost Election Day. So in honor of the spooky season, let me tell you a story about a scary group of witches I met and why I can never be president of the United States. So some years ago, I heard about this group of witches, real witches, Wiccans, neo-pagan practitioners, up in Wisconsin. And I heard that they were celebrating their big annual ritual. Sounded really spooky, and I don't know anything about that, so I thought, I wrote to them and asked if it would be all right if I observe their big spooky ritual. And I explained, I'm a Christian and probably not going to be a convert or anything. I just want to learn more about you, and I promise I won't make trouble for anybody. And they invited me to come and observe. So I ended up spending a 3-day weekend with these witches in Wisconsin. And they were a little scary to me at first. They're dressed and pierced and tattooed in a kind of aggressive way. Aggressive but at the same time vulnerable. Like they're saying, we don't need your approval. But when I got to know them, they seemed like really nice people. And I guess they got to know me too, because in the evening of the second day, they invited me not only to observe, but to participate in this big spooky ritual. Well, I thought, I don't know if I can do that. I don't share a whole lot of beliefs in common with these people, even though they're very nice and everything. But I kept an open mind. I read the rubric for their ritual, the script for it. Turns out to be like 20 pages, elaborate ritual. And it turned out their big spooky ritual, every year they get together and bless the whole world. And I couldn't say no to that because I love blessing things. So somewhere out there, there is video of 20 fabulously dressed Wiccans in ceremonial robes and me in my street clothes blessing the world, which of course is why I can never be president, because that video will certainly surface. And that would be the end of that. But it's okay, because I didn't really want to be president anyway. So let me sing a song that has kind of a positive interfaith perspective, and it doesn't mention the Wiccans explicitly, but kind of inspired by them. And I'm going to do this one karaoke style because there are a lot of words in it, and I can either sing it or play it, but not both at the same time. Whoops. Hang on. No. Sorry, that's not very professional, is it? Here we go. In a dream, I met the Buddha. I met the Buddha with a heavy load. In my dream, the guy was glowing. I saw him glowing down the road. In my dream, the guy was smiling. He was smiling, and he seemed to say, "Hey, walk my way." And I said, "Hey, enlightened master, won't you guide my feet? I need some good advice now, some good advice, how nice that we should meet. Please tell me what to do now, what to do and what to say and think." But quick as a wink, the Buddha kicked my butt, put down his burden and he kicked my butt. Smiled all the while, but his foot left a rut in my butt. The Buddha kicked my butt. And he punctuated his butt kicking with a little rhyme, and it went like this. Don't ask for directions or a book full of rules for the group thinking sinking of a ship full of fools. Don't be seeking every second to be told what to do with a hint or an omen or a sign or a clue. You are the enlightened master, you dim bulb. You were born in the night with a holy spark. You can kindle any fire, you can see in the dark. If it's broke, you can fix it. If it's good, you can feel it. If it's weak, you defend it. If it's injured, you can heal it. You can be the light. Who, me? You can be the light. You can be the light, you can be the light, you can be the light. So then, as he picked up his burden again, he said, tomorrow night, watch out for Jesus of Nazareth. You do not want your butt kicked by him. So in my dream, I watched for Jesus. I watched for Jesus, but I passed him by. I didn't recognize him. He looked surprisingly like a regular guy, until he turned and called me with a voice from above, infinite love. And I said, Jesus, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm sorry, must have been asleep. But Jesus, I'm your servant. In your flock I am a humble sheep. I know that I'm unworthy sinner and a child of woe. And I bowed real low, and that's when Jesus kicked my butt. He slipped behind me and he kicked my butt. I'm guessing it's a blessing, but his boot found the root of my glute. Jesus kicked my butt. I tried turning the other cheek, but that didn't help. And Jesus punctuated his butt kicking with a rhyme, and it went like this. Don't hide like a rabbit in a cleft in a rock. Don't shake like a sheep at the shearing of a flock. Don't quiver, lily liver, with a sycophantic heart, with a holy, 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 how great thou art. You were made by the master, you limp biscuit. You were born in the night when I called your name, when you turned to the sound, when your soul turned to flame. If it's broke, you can fix it. If it's good, you can feel it. If it's weak, you defend it. If it's injured, you can heal it. You can be the light. Funny thing, the Buddha said kind of the same thing. You can be the light, you can be the light, you can be the light. And then Jesus said to me, that is, he said unto me, you will have your butt kicked every night this week in a different religious tradition. Say hi to Ganesh for me. So every night I had my butt kicked. Had my butt kicked to some pointed rhymes. In the end, I got the message. Don't have to beat me more than 7 times. From every god and goddess, by every avatar and by every name, the song was the same. It's be the rock, be the light, be sure to cover your butt at night. Be the candle, be the flame, be the utterance of God's name. Be the fragrance, be the flower, be the urgent surge of power. Be a saucy celebration, no flossy-nossy nihilopilification. Be the dancer, be the dance. Keep a pillow inside your pants. If it's broke, you can fix it. If it's good, you can feel it. If it's weak, you defend it. If it's injured, you can heal it. You can be the light. You can be the light, 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 we can be the light, we can be the light, go on and be the light. Thank you. Thank you. One day when I was attending my seminary, I met a man who was camping under an overpass near Richmond, Indiana. And he was about 10 years older than I was, and he had a cap that identified him as a Vietnam veteran. So we got talking, and I told him I was studying at the seminary in town. He told me that he didn't believe in God anymore, and he told me why. Another day when I went back, he was gone, but I wrote this song to honor his story. When I was 6, the sisters said to think of you as Father God above. They didn't know the fear we felt, a father's hand and father's belt. We blessed the day when he walked out the door. I don't believe in you anymore. When I was 12, the teacher said to think of you as God, the great and good. But where were you when Mama bled? She hit the button by her bed to call me like 100 nights before. I don't believe in you anymore. At 24, the chaplain said to think of war as your refining fire. He told me trials would make me strong, but no one told the Viet Cong. And all the lights are dimmer since the war. I don't believe in you anymore. Now I'm old, God knows how old, and by this overpass the birds still sing, and every night the stars confess, but they don't see me here, I guess, and I don't see you there, my absent friend. I don't believe in you. I don't believe in you. I don't believe in you. Amen. Ooh. This coming Sunday is my father's birthday. He will be 91. He and my mom wanted to be here, but they don't travel as easily as they used to. I hope they're able to join in on the live stream tonight. My father taught me how to play the piano starting when I was about 5. I remember sitting next to him on the piano bench, playing, four hands pieces together, and marveling at his hands. They were so weathered and wrinkled and aged looking. And now I realize he was like 35 at the time. He taught me my first lessons in how to be a real man also. And I wrote a little song to put some of those lessons to music. I took some poetic liberties here because my father never says ain't, but it just worked out better in the song. This is a sing-along, too, for you real men in the audience. Warm up your voices. I'll bring you in when it's time. So I said to my father, "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a real man." He said, "Son, let me just give you a little advice. Real men are kind and polite, not like in the movies on Saturday night. Short-tempered and quick with a fist or gun. That ain't a man, my son." Real men are quietly strong. They're never abusive, that's totally wrong. Bombastical bragging is way too weak. Real men let action speak. All right, gentlemen. Real men, real men, real men, we're talking. Real men, try that now. Real men, that's good. Real men, we're talking. Real men, and if you're a tenor, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Real men, real men, real men, we're talking. Real men, everybody together. Real men, real men, real men, we're talking. Here we go. Real men are ready to work. Not serving themselves, that just makes you a jerk. They care for their families, their friends, their town. Help you up when you're down. Real men, real men. Real men are honest for sure. No fibbing or fudging, that's so immature. They may not say much, son, but when they do, every word is true. Real men, we're talking. Real men. Real men are kind and polite. Daddy said as he tucked me in tight for the night, "Remember my words, son, and when you do, you'll be a real man, too. You'll be a real man, too." Happy birthday, Dad. This song is a Bible story. It's told from an unusual perspective, but I think you'll figure it out. Soon I'll be with Joe, I know. Soon I'll be with Joe. The pain has left my hands and feet, pain and strife and life and heat. And soon I'll be with Joe. Soon I'll be with Joe. Joe, he's dead and gone, I know. Joe, he's dead and gone. raven and the raven's mate tested Joe and know his fate. They know he's dead and gone. Joe, he's dead and gone, gone. Got what he deserved, did Joe. Got what he deserved. Broke the law and had to die. Broke the law and so did I. We got what we deserved. Got what we deserved. Third man done no wrong, they say. Third man done no wrong. But now we're dying all the same, me and Joe and what's his name? Although he'd done no wrong, though he'd done no wrong, wrong. Third man's dead and gone, I think. Third man's dead and gone. The storm has passed without a trace. The sun is shining on his face. But I think he's dead and gone. Think he's dead and gone. I wonder what he meant when he said to me. I wonder what he meant when he said, through pain of flail, nail and spear, bleeding brow, falling tear. Today you'll be with me in paradise. Soon be with me in paradise. Thank you. Have you ever had a dream where you could fly? How many people have had flying dreams? Yes, yes. I love those dreams. I don't have them often, but when they happen, they're just fabulous. I had a dream like that, one of these lucid dreams where you know you're dreaming, and at first I couldn't do it, but then I learned the secret, and I flew up into the branches of a tree like a bird and over to the roof of the house, and it was just wonderful, and I was thinking to myself, wow, this is terrific. When I wake up, I have to remember how to do this. And then I did wake up, and I did remember how to do it, and I will share the secret with you tonight. No extra charge. Put a extra buck in the basket there. The secret of flight is simple. You don't make yourself go up. You just let everything else go down. Oh, the way he brushed the dust from off his blue jean knees, the way he ran his fingers through his hair, would have been enough to put me at my ease, except I saw him flying through the air. I was all alone at night and feeling sad and low. I saw him sitting up there in the sky. Couldn't see what held him up or made him go, but he saw me and he made a landing right nearby. And the secret of flight, I never will forget the things I learned that night. I have no fear of falling, and now that I'm recalling the learning that is turning me around and around, don't try to make yourself go up, up, up. Just let everything else drift away down. Good Lord, let everything else drift away down. He said I couldn't help but notice that you looked a little low, and I don't mean to pry or interfere, but I have a little secret that I think you should know, a word I think that maybe you're supposed to hear. It's the secret of flight, the secret of flight. I never will forget the things I learned that night. He told me I could share it, do it if you dare it, the learning that is turning me around and around. Don't try to make yourself go up, up, up. Just let everything else drift away down. Good Lord, let everything else drift away down. He said, you see yourself the stillness at the center of a storm. See yourself the spirit unencumbered by the form. You feel yourself the focus of the world spinning round. Feel yourself releasing your attachment to the ground. That's the secret of flight. You learn the secret faster, instructed by a master, the learning that is turning me around and around. Don't try to make yourself go up, up, up. Just let everything else drift away down. Good Lord, let everything else drift away down. Well, I still haven't done it, though I tried a time or two since he flew away into the morning sun. But I know he wasn't lying when he told me what to do, and I know I saw him do it, so I know it can be done. It's the secret of flight, the secret of flight. I never will forget the things I learned that night. Like a little bit of leaven, it will lift your loaf to heaven, the learning that is turning me around and around. Don't try to make yourself go up, up, up. Just let everything else drift away down. Good Lord, let everything else drift away down. Thank you very much. That song inspired, and that dream inspired me to, when I was writing this book, The Pastor and the Priestess, the first of a trilogy of interfaith fantasy romance, which is I have to say, it's so much more fun to write than sermons. I hear from people who have been to prison in Iowa and in Illinois and in the county jail too, that these books are popular there. And I had not thought of them as prison literature, but I guess they're escape literature, and that's what you need, right? At the intermission over at the table in the corner, I have some for sale, and I also have some CDs. Does anybody use CDs anymore? I don't know. They're, you can stream most of my music. These things make good coasters, and then they're on sale. And I also have some more serious works. The Inn of God's Forgiveness is a collection of theologial essays with new hymns. Speaking of new hymns, there are also a bunch of hymns on the table over there, which are free. Please take one or as many as you like if they're useful to you. They're not quite as, uninhibited as what I'm playing here tonight, but maybe a little more lighthearted than what you usually find in hymnals. And this is my latest, My Burden is Light. It's also a kind of theological reflection. And let me just say, if you find my perspective in music heterodox, not to say heretical, and this book is even worse. So just so you're forewarned. Okay, we're gonna one more song before we take an intermission, and in the old way, since we're going to be having food at intermission, let's say grace. The good people of Open Prairie have provided an incredible amount of food. They clearly thought that I was a big draw. So please enjoy some food tonight, and if you can afford to put $1 in the basket, then do that, but if you can't, enjoy the food anyway. When my children were little, we had a custom of saying grace around the table, and each person would say something they were thankful for, which sometimes worked, but sometimes the kids just got carried away. They would say, thank you for Mom and Dad, thank you for the food and the butter, the salt and pepper and purple grape juice and bats. Bats are terrific. And thank you for dinosaurs, and food is getting colder and colder. Granddaddy said, "Bless, O Lord, this food to our use, and watch out, dear, don't spill that juice. Make us ever mindful of the needs of others, please. Pass the peas." What the children said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for." Bunnies that hop, they love to hop. Thank you for bats that swoop and dart and dive. Horses that run, they run and never stop. Dinosaurs we pretend are still alive. Then Mommy said, "Thank you for this beautiful weather, and thanks for all of us being together. Bless this table, bless this meat. Now let's eat." But the children said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for." Bunnies that hop, they love to hop. Thank you for bats that swoop and dart and dive. Horses that run, they run and never stop. Dinosaurs we pretend are still alive. Fun in the sun and fun in summer sand. Feel of the breeze as hair is flying loose. Someone to hold us by the hand. Thank you for purple grape and apple juice. Then Daddy said, for nice fresh bread, for ice-cold beer, for making the world and putting us here. Thanks for corn and cow and carrot. Now let's share it. But the children said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for bunnies that hop, they love to hop. Thank you for bats that swoop and dart and dive. Horses that run, they run and never stop. Dinosaurs we pretend are still alive. Fun in the sun and fun in summer sand. Feel of the breeze as hair is flying loose. Someone to hold us by the hand. Thank you for purple grape and apple juice. Joy in the sound of singing all around, making the earth in every corner ring. Thank you for taste and touch and sight and sound. Everything sings you thanks. Everything sings you thanks for everything. Amen. Thank you very much. Please enjoy some refreshments, and we'll be back for the second half. bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Let's get started again, please. When you think of King David, maybe you think of the beautiful carving Michelangelo's marble. It's like 17 feet tall, and David is so powerful looking and gorgeous. Looks like Goliath would just take one look and drop dead. I've always kind of liked the Donatello David better. It's a bronze statue. David as a kind of slender young man with a sword that looks too big for him and a funny hat. But unless, that's kind of how we always think of David as a young man. But unless you are made of marble or bronze, you don't stay young forever. The first book of Kings starts with a story about David as an old man, plagued by a problem common to us old men. It seems they searched the entire land looking for the most beautiful young woman to warm the king's bed. And they found a woman named Abishag, a Shunammite woman, and they brought her to the king. And as it says in the delicate language of the King James Version, the king gat no heat. Hate it when that happens. Goliath was a man, the biggest on the team, shaft of his spear like a hardwood beam, toughest of the tough, hardest man around, but David had the stones it took to bring him down. Now it's good to be the king when you're young and in your prime, finest wines, concubines, service all the time. Tough to keep it up when you're old and feeling beat. King David tried to do it, but he got no heat. You can shake it to the left, shake it to the right, shake it just a little in the middle of the night. You can take blue pill, you can eat red meat, but you're never gonna get it if you got no heat. In a club in Shuna City, she was way too hot to handle. She could bake your cake, she could light up your candle. Her name was Abishag, and when they saw her show, they took her to the king and told her, go, girl, go. Well, she looked like a goddess and she moved like a dream. She danced with abandon and the air was full of steam. From her lips to the tips of her pretty little feet, she was everything he wanted, but he got no heat. Shag, shag, Abishag, Abishag, shuffle. Abishag the Shunammite, ain't she sweet? Oh, shag, shag, Abishag, Abishag, shuffle. Abishag in the bag, got no heat. When you got no heat, there's treatments you can choose. There's a thing with a ring, but it tends to leave a bruise. There's a thing with a shrink, but it costs a lot of dough. There's a thing with a needle you don't even want to know. You can try medication, don't forget to read the warning. Try Spanish fly and regret it in the morning. You can shake it to the left, shake it to the right, shake it just a little in the middle of the night. You can take blue pill, you can eat red meat, but you're never gonna get it if you got no heat. Shake it to the left, shake it to the right, shake it just a little in the middle of the night. You can take a blue pill, you can eat red meat, but you're never gonna get it if you got no heat. Thank you. My family moved to Princeton when I was in the middle of my 6th grade school year. And I have to admit, I hated it, hated Princeton. It was so flat and featureless. Well, of course, in those days there was more fall plowing going on, and so snow drifts were mixed with dirt, and there were all these gray drifts around, and it seemed kind of symbolic of everything. Hated the school, I hated the church. I promised myself when I grew up I would A, stop going to church, and B, move away from this crummy little town. Of course, I fell in love with Princeton, met my wife here, had some great teachers here. Paul Ernst is here tonight. It's a great town, and Kelly and I have lived in many other places and done other things, but we moved back because we never found a place we liked as much as Princeton. I should add, there was one thing about Princeton that I really liked right away. The girls were so hot here. I remember writing to a friend back in Massachusetts and saying, wow, you should see the girls in Princeton, Illinois. Now I realize I was just entering puberty at the time. I moved here with my family back in '74. A nervous little nerd without a friend. The town seemed small as I recall, and I thought I wanted more. Never would have guessed that I'd come back in the end. They told me I should dream of moving up and taking charge. Told me to think city big, about a life of living large. Well, thanks for that advice, my friend, but I think I will buck that trend. 'Cause I found what I love the best of all, and it's small. Well, it isn't for the good jobs, 'cause they can be pretty rare. It isn't for the nightlife people stay. It isn't for the climate, though there's sweetness in the air. It isn't for fine dining, though the pizza is okay. There's better plays on Broadway, and there's bigger buildings too. Finer art in Paris, and there's better tans in Malibu. The rich and famous all agree that this is not the place to be. But we think it's the sweetest place of all, and it's small. Like the little church I go to, where they're always glad I came, and the school where my old homeroom teacher still remembers my name. There's a county fair in August when the fairground's filled with lights. There's a little track where stock car races bring the town on Friday nights. There's a little farmer's market with the sweetest corn you ever ate. A little movie house on Main Street where you take your steady date. A pretty little girl whose smile can make the stars align. But you'll have to find your own, 'cause she's mine. But the only things we supersize are the brightest stars and the clearest skies, and the deep down small town biggest love of all. We love small. I know it's crazy, I know it's kind of out of date, bigger is better, and market forces rule our fate. Big box beats Main Street, big ag beats 80-acre farm, big school beats schoolhouse, steam drill beats hammer in a good man's arm. Well, if you dream of bigger things, I hope that takes you far. But the one who loves the sparrow loves us just the way we are. I know a man who lived his life in a sorry little town. He never even tried to strike it rich. He always was a poor man and his family trodden down. But he changed the world by making this incredible pitch. He talked about a kingdom that the powers couldn't see, a kingdom like a tiny seed that grows into a tree. And he loved the smallest ones the best, and told the poor that they are blessed. So we remember him and we recall he loved small. Like the little church I go to, where they're always glad I came, and the school where my old homeroom teacher still remembers my name. There's a county fair in August when the fairground's filled with lights. There's a little track where stock car races bring the town on Friday nights. There's a little farmer's market with the sweetest corn you ever ate. A little movie house on Main Street where you take your steady date. A pretty little girl whose smile can make the stars alive. But you'll have to find your own, 'cause she's still mine. About the only things we supersize are the brightest stars and the clearest skies and the deep down small town biggest love of all. Here comes my small ending. We love small. Love small. 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 Thank you, thank you. Well, many of my songs are things that come to me in dreams. Or in this case, this next case, nightmares. An old friend of mine, Rob Pearson, who went to the seminary with me, traveled all the way from New Mexico to be here tonight. Thank you so much, Rob. Rob and I together in the seminary, of course, we had to study the apocalyptic side of Christianity. And all the apocalyptic literature and then all the history of how Christian churches have been confidently predicting the end of the world regularly for the last 2,000 years. And it gave me a series of powerful nightmares, the Judgment Day blues. Well, I'm fishing with this guy Matthew, and he's doing his doomsday deal. All about the fiery furnace, I sure as hell am gonna feel. And I'm like, Matthew, it's been 2,000 years, maybe it's time you gave it a rest. He's like, get behind me, Satan, this little delay is only a test. Then he jumps up on his feet, starts to rock the boat. He says, man with a soul like yours, you ain't never gonna float. And then the devil will hook your backside, boy. He's gonna feast on your fillet. You'll be gutted, boned, and butterflied, boy, come the judgment day. Then I'm on Patmos making pancakes for this guy John and all his cronies. And they're talking about these 4 horsemen and their different colored ponies. And I'm like, John, you said it was coming soon, but man, it's taken pretty long. He's like, you just lost your share in the tree of life, boy, you and your sorry little song. Then he jabs me with his fork, says God's frying pan is greased. There's incendiary syrup for you servants of the beast. The devil will beat your batter, boy. You'll be a pancake all flambé. And your stupid songs won't matter, boy, come the judgment day. Then I'm in a bar with this Millerite, and he goes all apocalyptic. And this Miller time is dynamite, if perhaps a little cryptic. And I just couldn't keep my big mouth shut. Guess I just couldn't get into the spirit. I'm like, you said the world would end in 1844, but you were nowhere near it. Well, he turns an angry color, sprays a little spit. He says, man, you're gonna be chugged right down the devil's fiery pit. The devil is gonna drink your blood like a viscous Cabernet. Or a super salty sun-warmed bud, come the judgment day. And then it's Horseshoes with Harry, discussing the late great planet Earth. Remember that book? I'm like, we made it through the 80s, so how much was that prediction worth? And we made it through 2000 AD, so the sequel was kind of a bust as well. He's like, slight miscalculation there, but you're still going straight to hell. Then he grabs him up a horseshoe, throws it straight up in the air. The wrath of God's about to fall, so sinner best beware. The devil has got a hot pitch, boy, for every smug satanic singer. He's got a red-hot iron aimed at you, boy, and he's gonna throw a ringer. Oh yes, the end has all been prophesied, the fires will soon ignite. We've been wrong about this for thousands of years, but this time we'll be right. The end of the world is predestined, boy. There's nothing you can do but pray. And that won't do you no good, boy. Should've listened while you could, boy. Now God is gonna get you good, boy, come the judgment day. Thank you. As you can tell from that song, I'm not one who believes that apocalyptic writings are accurate predictions of the future. But what do I know? I mean, there's a diploma on my office wall that says I'm a master of divinity, but that's obviously not true. And the few things that I do know about God are always the things that are so hard to put into words. I mean, for example, I know that we're surrounded by this incredibly intense love, this rich, deep, juicy, longing love. But every time I try to put it into words, I just trip over my own tongue. And I try to write it into songs, and I don't know. Never really succeeded. I try to explain this love by stacking one metaphor on top of another. I say, you know, it's like a mother with a longing for a baby's smile. It's like a sailor who is sighing for the sight of land. Like a runner digging deeply for the final mile. Like a wave awaiting welcome from the warm sand. Like a songwriter searching for the sweetest rhyme. Like a heavy heart hungers for a little less care. Like a working woman wishing for a little more time. Like a tired man searching for a soft chair. Like a shepherd seeking out a little sheep that's lost. Like the rain crying softly for reunion with the sea. Like the springtime dreaming of the breaking frost. Like my longing for my lover, like she needs me. Longs for you, longs for you, longs for you. I don't know where we go when we leave the life we know, but I know on that day longing love will lead the way, and I cling to one thing, making every corner ring, loud and clear and strong and true. Longs for you, longs for you, longs for you. Like a mother with a longing for a baby's smile. Like a sailor who is sighing for the sight of land. Like a runner digging deeply for the final mile. Like a wave awaiting welcome from the warm sand. Like a songwriter searching for the sweetest rhyme. Like a heavy heart hungers for a little less care. Like a working woman wishing for a little more time. Like a tired man searching for a soft chair. Like a shepherd seeking out a little sheep that's lost. Like the rain crying softly for reunion with the sea. Like the springtime dreaming of the breaking frost. Like my longing for my lover, like she needs me. Longs for you. Every bird bears the word, and that same longing to be heard. Every day I hear them say, won't you please come out to play? Every breeze in the trees sighs for you and whispers, please whisper back a prayer or two. Longs for you, longs for you, longs for you. Like a mother with a longing for a baby's smile. like a sailor who is sighing for the sight of land, like a runner digging deeply for the final mile, like a wave awaiting welcome from the warm sand, like a songwriter searching for the sweetest rhyme, like a heavy heart hungers for a little less care, like a working woman wishing for a little more time, like a tired man searching for a soft chair, like a shepherd seeking out a little sheep that's lost, like the rain crying softly for reunion with the sea, like the springtime dreaming of the breaking frost, like my longing for my lover, like she needs me, longs for you, longs for you, longs for you, for you. Oh, longs for you, longs for you, longs for you, for you. Thank you. It's almost 20 years now since my children, Fox and Fern, were baptized in this church. I was not the pastor then, I was the organist. Obviously a title of courtesy since we don't have an organ. The pastor thought it would be a good idea to ask the children one question at their baptism. So in our tradition, there's not like a catechism that you have to memorize or something, but one question. Didn't seem like too much to ask. They were about 6 and 8 years old. So I warned them this was coming. I said, next Sunday we're going to do this baptism, and the pastor is going to ask, do you believe in God? So you should think about how you want to answer this. And they did. The big day arrived, and the space was all decorated, baptismal font set up, everything in white, families in their Sunday best. And the critical moment arrived, and the pastor said, do you believe in God? And my daughter, speaking for both of them, stepped forward and said, we're not sure. It's kind of a mystery, isn't it? And the wrath of the Lord came down upon them in the form of a prayer book thrown by the minister. No, actually, everybody was pretty pleased with that answer because, after all, it's what most of us would say if we were as daring as my daughter was at age 8 to be honest in front of a crowd. For that occasion, I wrote this song. It kind of expresses a father's wishes for his children. Money gets you pretty far. I hope you'll be a movie star. Hope you'll be a movie star and buy your dad a fancy car. Never mind that. I don't care how rich you are. There's only one like you. Just be true. Be true. My little baby, be true. My little one, be true. My little baby, be true. Oh yeah, be true. True. will be fine and fair, with flashing eyes and floating hair. Flashing eyes and floating hair, and all will love you and despair. Never mind that. Plain or pretty, I don't care. There's only one like you, just be true. Be true, my little baby, be true. My little one, be true. My little baby, be true. Oh yeah, be true. True, true. I hope you'll worship God like me in forms of Christianity. Forms of Christianity, like my father taught to me. But God is with you. Just be what you were made to be. There's only one like you, just be true, be true. My little baby, be true. My little one, be true. My little baby, be true. Thank you. As I said, I wrote that for my children, but if you'll allow me just 20 seconds of preaching, I'm thinking of reaching out to the LGBTQ community with that song for them too. God is with you. Be what you were made to be. There's no one else like you. Just be true. Both my grandfathers were in the First World War. God bless them. Grandfather McCubbin, a Scot, fought in the trenches in France. And like many soldiers, he picked up a little French while he was there. You know the kind of thing, like soldiers' French. Various disreputable phrases beginning with voulez-vous and ending with mon chéri. Voulez-vous, mon chéri. It's terribly unfair, but almost anything you say in French sounds vaguely suggestive to American ears. Doesn't matter what the subject, it could be, French existential philosophy. L'enfer, c'est les autres. Yeah. to American ears, or maybe it's just to my ears, you know, because maybe I'm just obsessed with sex. I hope that's not shocking. Sometimes people think, you know, he's a pastor, so he must be all spiritual all the time, you know, uninterested in matters of the flesh. But of course, I'm a man, and I have the same basic instincts as other men, the same carnal appetites. Enchanté, poulet. I've been dreaming about you. The echo of your fragrance kept me up all night. With each dream, a taste of you. With each taste, waking and wanting you more. And you looked so good, so warm, so luscious. A flash of your leg, and I beg of your thigh, and I sigh of your breast, and my quest takes wing, and I sing, and you are everything a chicken should be. You're my freaking chickasee. Brochette Dijon flambée. La poularde à la vapeur. Suprême de vos laits Véronique. I've got a special book that shows 100 different ways to do you. It shows me how to baste and when to taste and what to rub into you. I like to get you stewed and I like to get you fried. You're golden on the out and tender, juicy on the inside. Everything a chicken should be. You're my freaking chickasee. Poulet fleuri. Coq au vin. Poulet en sauce crémeuse et réciproquement. You can be easy and delicious and familiar as the girl next door. Or as novel and erotic as a navel on a far exotic shore. So I'm heating up the oil and I'm cooling down the wine. A little spicy dressing and I'm guessing you will soon be mine. Glowing like the sun, like a freshly buttered bun, and your temperature rising like a rocket. And I know you're getting done when your juices start to run and the bones are getting looser in the socket. You're the sweetest little chicken, my finger licking frickin' chickasee. Je te désire, mon poulet. Voulez-vous sauter avec moi ce soir? Don't even get me started on pork. Well, I wrote this next song for people who are coping with depression. And I imagine that includes some of you because it's not that uncommon. For instance, our 26th president, Teddy Roosevelt, had episodes of depression throughout his life. He, of course, a famously energetic man, you know, the Rough Riders and the Panama Canal, and the youngest man ever to occupy the office. But his activity was partly his way of coping with depression, which he called the black care. And he wrote, "The black care rarely sits behind a rider whose pace is fast enough." I guess that worked for him, but it can be exhausting. And people that I've talked with who are suffering with depression sometimes feel like giving up. This song is called "Keep My Head Above the Wave." Don't want to be an eagle and soar above the mist. Just want someone to help me persist. Just help me keep on swimming when every limb is lead. And Clena's voice invites me to the bed. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Don't want to go to heaven. Not ready yet to leave. The people here who love me would grieve. Just help me rise a little when darkness drags me down and sweet surrender calls me to drown. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. The sea is full of dolphins. The angels of the deep. They sweetly sing and laughing they leap. They breathe the air as we do, unwearied by the wave. They kindly come and sweetly they save. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Keep my head above the water, Lord. Keep my head above the wave. Thank you. It's been a real honor to have you here tonight, sharing songs. I am really grateful for all of you coming out. If you know anybody who would like this concert, I'm doing it again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Pass the word. And of course, I may be a vegetable by Sunday, but I'll be doing my best to lead a good service and preach the good word here on Sunday morning. You know, I sometimes say to God, thanks for helping me write all these great songs, but don't you think just once you could help me write something that would make me rich and famous? This is sort of the answer I get. What if you were humble? You wouldn't have to talk all day. You could just listen while other people have their say. You could just be you, humble you. There's the peace that you've been seeking, humble you. Where no one but God is speaking, humble you, humble you, humble you, humble you. And what if you were humble? You wouldn't have to hold a grudge, wouldn't have to weigh in when the important people judge. You could just be you, humble you. There's a certain simple solace, humble you, knowing only God is flawless, humble you, humble you, humble you, humble you. And what if you were humble? You wouldn't have to be upset when you write something that hasn't made you famous yet. You could just be you, humble you. You could sing the song inside you, humble you, needing nothing else to guide you, humble you, humble you, humble you. Humble you. You could just be you, humble you. You could give without possessing. You could cherish every blessing, humble you. You could serve the town you live in, could forgive and be forgiven, humble you. Humble you, humble you. Humble you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Next concert. Thank you. Thank you so much. Safe travels. Good night.
Thank you for a good Friday night.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you could come.